right, we just had the kit reveal and, well, developers' insights for Luthen Rael, and now it looks like there's a Q&A, so let's get into it. This better be good, none dumb nonsense like they like to do. So first question, or statement, I don't know, this unit stats scale with the summoner stats. Do the values differ depending on who summoned him? I'd hope so. It says they scale with the summoner stats. Duh. Yes, the Rebel Trooper stats will be slightly different depending on who summoned him, Luthen or Mon Mothma. Like, duh? What kind of question is that? That's horrible. At least it's a legit question, but I almost feel like it's so dumb. Why did they even include this in the Q&A? Like, duh. What's the point in granting Mon Mothma additional offense with, what do I sacrifice? And that's what I was saying in the kit reveal. Mon Mothma doesn't even have an attack. There's no point in giving her offense up. It's just like 3PO. He doesn't have attacks. Or, what's his name? Jeez, Wat Tambor. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't spit it out. Or even Hermit Yoda. Those are all characters that don't actually have attacks. There's no point in offense. Kind of Jabba as well. He doesn't have a direct attack either. So anyways, Mon Mothma's leadership applies at the start of battle, so granting her more offense wouldn't do anything, right? She doesn't even have an attack, so more offense does nothing. The extra offense will not affect anything in her kit, but the turn meter reduction immunity will be more useful. They were slated in the same sentence for brevity. I mean, I guess the only thing that more offense might do is the summon would be able to get that, because it says that the stats of the summon scale with the one that summoned it. So I guess if Mon Mothma had 30% offense up, then that would mean that the summon does too, right? So I guess that's how that would work, but otherwise, for Mon Mothma herself, it does nothing. What do I sacrifice target? One place it says target Rebel Fighter or Mon Mothma ally. Another it says target Rebel ally. And in the Omicron it says target Rebel Fighter ally. Will the bonuses be different if a non-Rebel Fighter Rebel ally is targeted? This is a description bug that we will be fixing in a future update. Well, that's pretty dumb. You could have just answered the question now. I mean, one, you could have said that. It's a description bug that we'll be fixing in a future update, but to answer your question, blah, 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 blah. Way to just avoid the question. Again, what's the point of including this question in the Q&A if you're not even going to properly answer it? That was stupid. If Luthen gets revived while a Rebel Captain Trooper is active, will he still automatically promote them? Yes, even if Luthen is defeated, all Rebel Troopers will be promoted to Rebel Commander. Mon Mothma has gotten a LOC update to reflect this. LOC, what does that stand for? Life... I don't know. Cool way to use acronyms, like I'm supposed to know what that means. So anyways, though, what is this saying? If Luthen was in the team at all, then even if he's dead, if Mon Mothma brought in a rebel, it would automatically be commander. That's kind of cool, I guess. Does the 30% defense reduction on basic ability go away in Grand Arena if he's called to assist? Nope. Not just a no. Nope. The defense reduction will only change targets if it's used on a different enemy during Luthen's turn. Okay, I don't really know the full context on that, so I can't really comment too well on this. Which weaknesses in the teams of Saw and Mon Mothma do you expect Luthen to address? So I think the question here is, who are we subbing out for Luthen? How does his kit mitigate these weaknesses? Luthen patches up some weaknesses in both squads. For starters, Mon Mothma should hold ground much better against Wampa while on defense, and Saw Gerrera's squad should be able to output much more damage right away than needing to ramp up. Well, here's a couple things for me to say. One, I haven't ever used Saw yet, other than in the Marquee event. So, don't really know what to say about any weaknesses he might have. To me, there's none, because I don't know. As far as Mon Mothma, I mean, I know exactly how she works, and it feels like there's so many Rebel Fighter options that you can just kind of customize her squad as needed, so you should be able to cover your own weaknesses no matter what. You don't need another character to do that. But then here, their answer is kind of random. It says, for starters, Mon Mothma should be able to hold ground much better against Wampa while on defense. That's weird and random. Why are you specifically calling out Wampa? Are you talking about in Grand Arena? Because, I mean, that's really the only area that anybody's using Wampa. And I would say that's probably not true. Wampa should still be able to tear it up because Wampa's Omicron is awesome. And that's kind of the whole point. So, what are you trying to say? You want to make it so that Wampa's Omicron is basically useless against the Mon Mothma team in Grand Arena now or something? That's kind of annoying. Not that I use Wampa against those squads, but what if I did? I'd want to know that I'm going to win, not, oh, whoops, I'm going to lose because I reworked it because I didn't think it was fair before. Anyways, the strategy tips say that Luthen's Special 1 Omicron can let Mon Mothma ignore taunt, but the Omicron ability description only mentions target rebel fighter ally. So can it let Mothma ignore taunt or not? Oh yeah, because she's not a rebel fighter, that's right. She's only a rebel. Mon Mothma is only a rebel. It's kind of goofy because when you go to use one of her squads, you got to go to rebels to find her, and then to make her squad, you got to go to rebel fighters. I don't know why she's just not a rebel fighter. Why is she a rebel and her team, which is on her team, which means if she's a rebel, they should be rebels, but they're rebel fighters and she's not. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really make much sense, but I see what they're saying. So this is a description bug. Mon Mothma can't ignore taunt if she's selected. That just means that they probably have to add like target rebel / rebel fighter or something to the description, and then that'll cover Mon Mothma. Which means, it says description bug, so that means it probably, if the code's already there, it probably works. It's just, it doesn't explicitly say that it would work, you know what I mean? So you could target Mon Mothma even though she's not rebel fighter, even though the description specifically only says rebel fighter. Which stats will the summon scale off of? Should scale off of all of them. Right? Every single one. That's right? The same stats that Mon's summon would scale off of. I mean, that doesn't really answer the question. The question was, what specifically does it scale off of? HP, protection, speed, defense, offense, etc. But, yeah, I would assume it means every single one. Because the description is, it scales off of the summoner. So all the stats that the summoner has, the summon E will also have. I think it's really interesting to make his entire kit function differently depending on who is leading the team. How did programming that work? So first off, I gotta say that is actually a pretty good question, because that does sound like a pain in the cock, especially for a game like this. Like if you're making a real game, like, you know what I mean, like a PS5 game or whatever, it's already got a whole bunch of code in there, you're just adding a little bit more, no big deal. But for a game like this that's mobile and constantly evolving and stuff, it seems like a lot of work. And to get it out, get the character out on time and everything, seems like a lot of work. But I'm not a fan of how this works like this. It's kind of annoying. You know, it's like, I don't know, it almost makes like more to remember. Like normally you can make a team and you remember what the team is like. You know how it works and you're like, yeah, okay, this is fine. And you know what the character's moves do, and that's it. So even if you have a character that's like a multi-tag, like let's say Ezra, you know, you can put him with a Rebel squad, you can put him with a Phoenix squad, or you can put him with the Jedi squad, but at the end of the day his moves are the same. He still has synergy with those squads, but his moves are the same, so you know exactly how he's going to work. This is kind of annoying. It's like you use it with one team and it works one way, and then maybe you know, that's what you get used to, and then you go and put him with another team and now he's working way different, and you're like, what? Hold on a minute. So not a huge fan of that. It's like you gotta like doubly remember now, or just pick one and just stick with it. Well, I chose to use him with Saw Gerrera first, so I'm never gonna try Mon Mothma. But I mean, like they say, it's really interesting. I mean, it is kind of cool though that at least there's a little effort like that put in, like to kind of make, you know, switch things up a little. But anyways, the answer to this is the abilities that work differently have essentially a really complicated if-then statement that checks if Saw Gerrera is leader, then do X. If Saw is not the leader, then do Y. I guess when you break it down like that, it actually does sound basic. If-then statements aren't that hard, and yeah, so basically that's all you have to do. You program. It's kind of like, so I use a software called SolidWorks to do design engineering all day, and it's like making configurations, and you can tweak your configurations, I mean, all the way down, from the assembly level, all the way down to the part level, all the way down to a sketch even. You can tweak and make configurations of just a sketch by modifying a dimension saying this configuration only. So that's what this kind of feels like. You know, if you're using Saw, then the ability is this. If you're not, then the ability is this. So maybe it's not, maybe the program's not as bad as I thought. I don't really know how to program, like C++ and all that crap. So on the surface it sounds complicated, but I guess when you hear the answer, it's like, oh, that's not bad actually. Anyways, I've been going on that one way too long. In the final Omicron portion of Luthen's Dreams with Ghosts unique, does does the clause, the first time the rebel commander is defeated in each battle, summon a rebel trooper and promote them to rebel commander, fall under the condition of Mon Mothma's leadership, or is that an entirely separate clause that will... What? That work under any leadership? It should work under anybody, because it has to do with him and what happens with the summon. And doesn't Luthen have a summon himself? So it has nothing really specifically to do with Mon Mothma. But anyways, it says this will work with any leader, assuming rebel troopers can be summoned. Yeah, exactly. So you could be like with a CLS squad and have Luthen summon a character and it'll go straight to commander. Does can't be reduced below 100% health mean immune to insta-kill? I know. Why does that look like it's spelled wrong? I don't know. I know he technically can't be targeted, but if C were to link him before the commander shows up, then try to insta-kill after, is he immune? Can't be reduced below X% health means they are immune to insta-kill abilities. Okay, so that's cool, but at the same time, it didn't fully answer the question where it says C. C is a GL. GLs are supposed to be super OP, so you didn't really answer that portion of the question. Would this character be able to be immune to C's frying move, or would C's frying move still override this kit parameter? I don't know. Here we go. Dumb question. What color deck is he? I was thinking blue or green. Another stupid Magic the Gathering question, because that's what everybody's here for. If Luthen Rael was a Starship citizen, which would he be? Here we go. Another dumb question. The summoned Rebel Commander, what role is he classified as, i.e. tank, attacker, etc.? And does the Rebel Commander also receive role bonuses granted to the team? The Rebel Commander is an attacker, same as Mon Mothma's Rebel Commander. The Rebel Commander will also receive role bonuses granted to the team. I'd hope so. I mean, it counts as a character. Yeah, it's not really an official one that you can put out, but once it's out there, it's an official character. Why 3 Omicrons? Our typical marquee units will have 1 Omicron ability, while Journey Guide or Conquest will have 3 each. This is in line with the higher power of these units. I don't know why they're complaining about 3 Omicrons. Yes, I get it. Omicrons are a pain in the cock. Everybody hates them. But at the same time, this is how it is. Conquest always has 3, and the whole point of that is because Conquest characters are supposed to be, demi-GLs. They're basically a step down from a GL, kinda. And, well, I guess they're in line with legendaries as well. But the whole point of the Omicrons is to make them, like, in line with the GL. There's supposed to be potential that these characters and their teams that they come with could defeat a GL squad. So that's why they get 3 Omicrons, so they can really get a big boost. I guess you could do a big boost with 1 Omicron, but you can get a bigger boost with 3. Do you think it's possible we could see more characters that function differently on different teams like Luthen? We did this for Luthen because of how he operated on the show Andor, leading a dual life and acting differently around Mon Mothma than he did around Saw Gerrera. Doing this increases the time to balance a character as well as QA them. So we'll likely only be doing it in special cases where we need a unit to work differently under different leaders. That's fair. Thank you. Luthen is one of my 2 all-time Swiggo character wants. Who is your other one? First off, I gotta say, this is a stupid question. It's not even a question. Shouldn't have been included. But, I gotta say, first off, that is a good question by Stupid CG. What is the other one? You only had 2 that you were looking forward to? Who's the other one? And 2, this is kind of random. Jeez, you want Luthen? Out of every character in the Star Wars universe, which is a very vast, massive amount of characters, Luthen was one of the 2 that you wanted? I think most players are pumped about, like, Coder characters, or not Coder, but just Old Republic in general characters, or even Plagueis coming to the game, or Snoke, or someone more legendary like that. Not Emperor Palpatine, but like Chancellor Palpatine, and stuff like that. And this guy's like, oh man, I hope Luthen comes one day. Like, seriously? Let me guess, you watched Acolyte, and like some of those new characters that we just met, you want in the game already now too, right? Oh my god, I hope we get Jedi Master Saul. I hope we get the one that was immune to her attacks while he was meditating. Did that one even have a name? Anyways, what's the preference on his team? Mon Mothma or Saw, in your own opinion? I mean, it sounds like he has great synergy with both, but based on the key reveal, it sounds like they were heavily leaning towards Saw. There was only like one thing that specifically called out Mon Mothma. Everything else was like saw. So anyways, as Luthen's designer, I found both to be equally fun and powerful, which was my main goal. Depending on the leader, the team plays very differently and is able to defeat different enemy squads, but if I had to choose, I really like how the team plays with Saw as the leader, since letting your rebel commanders die at strategic times leads to some crazy combos with your attackers. Does the 30% offense that Luthen gives on his special one to Mon Mothma mean that her summoned rebel fighter would also gain these stats? Would this gain be immediate or next time the rebel trooper is summoned? Summoned stats are determined by the summoner stats at the start of battle, so any stat changes later on in the match will not affect the summoned unit's stats. Okay, so that's kind of dumb then, because remember when we were talking about Mon Mothma gaining 30% in the beginning of this video, and I said, oh, maybe that affects the summon. No, apparently not, because if the summon's already summoned and then Mon Mothma gains 30% offense, it does nothing. So that's pretty stupid. So that literally is worthless then for Mon Mothma to gain that. It does absolutely nothing. Wow, there's still a lot of questions. Jeez. Axis. All rebel fighter allies dispel all debuffs from themselves. For each debuff dispelled, they gain 10% turn meter. Does this mean that each ally individually gains turn meter for each debuff dispelled on their own selves, or each debuff dispelled on all allies? Each ally individually gains turn meter for each debuff dispelled. So that's not a very clear answer, but if I had to try to translate, I'd say that it's saying everybody gains turn meter for every debuff dispelled. So it's not just for themselves, it's for the whole entire team. If GL, Leia, and Mon Mothma are allies, and Mothma summons a rebel trooper, will Luthen still promote him to rebel commander? Yes. I mean, yes, that's part of his kit. So it doesn't really matter what's going on with the leader slot. It's him. He's the one that does the promotion. So yeah, he could be randomly on a team of Sith. You could be an idiot and put him on a team of Sith, and when he does a summon, it'll still be promoted to commander because it's his kit. It has nothing to do with Mon Mothma or Saw. Was the lack of synergy was the lack of synergy with Andor deliberate due to Rael's indifference to Andor once they part ways? What? Hold on. I was trying to make a joke with how they put Andor. Oh, whoops, I'm an idiot. That wasn't Andor. That's Andor, but they didn't capitalize it, so it threw me off. I thought it was supposed to be and/or, but they left out the slash. Oops. Let me read that again then, with more seriousness. Was the lack of synergy with Andor deliberate due to Rael's indifference to Andor once they part ways? I'd like to reiterate that Luthen's summon is an expendable asset while under Saw. Additionally, we wanted to leave some meat on the old design bone for how those characters might interact with one another in the future. What are we talking about Andor though? Lack of synergy with Andor. We don't have like an Andor faction or anything. So what is that saying? Am I missing something here? I don't know. And then a third stupid question. How's life? Hot. Where is CG located? Is it California? Actually, yeah, California's supposed to be having some crazy heat wave now. Today is June 5th. And I think for like today and the next couple of days, they're like in the hundreds. So I guess hot would be correct. I mean, it's still a really stupid question. No, thanks for wasting our time, idiot who asked that, but anyhow, there it is. Q&A for Luthen Rael. I almost feel like we learned nothing because for the most part, either A... too much talking. Either A, the questions were obvious, like, I don't know, like this first one kind of, the unit stats scale with the summoner stats. Like, yeah, it differs depending on who summoned him. Duh. Waste of time question there. Or else it's a good question, but CG doesn't feel like answering it, or not answering it clearly, or I don't know. But yeah, lots of questions, but it doesn't really feel that productive. There were 3 stupid questions. I skipped 2 of them because fuck them, and then the other one that I did read was just a quick answer. But yeah, you need to stop doing that, CG. Nobody cares about your dumb questions. We're here to learn about Luthen, not to learn about some dumb idiot asking you what deck you think he would be in for Magic. I don't even play Magic, so I don't even understand that question. You're just wasting your time to put that in there and have someone like me read that and be like, okay, cool. Anyways, though, conquest character, so it's not like we're gonna have a marquee for him, so you're not gonna see him anytime too soon, but relatively speaking, he'll be in the game soon enough. One thing I was thinking too, for a conquest character, it's kind of funny because he's, I don't know, conquest characters typically either have an leader ability, or they're a lifter like Cat, or you know what I mean, there's something good on their own. And this one's kind of goofy. Like, he's good, I guess, but like he works under regular marquee characters. Mon Mothma or Saw Gerrera is like his ideal teams. He's not a lifter for like Leia, not like she needs it, she has Drogon, but still, he's not like a lifter for that. He doesn't have a leader ability, so he can't do his own team. It's kind of goofy. But anyways, that's all I got, so thanks for checking this out, and until next time, I said see ya.